This column today is titled Flooding, Still a Problem After 190 Years. When a person loses their home to flooding, it must be a devastating feeling. One would not want to experience that even once, let alone multiple times. Admittedly, I have never lived in a flood-prone house, so my opinion may be slanted, but why would a person buy or build a house in a flood-prone area? The many communities and farms of the Red River Valley have been diked, some for many, many years. They have it down to a science: maintain the dikes, watch the flood forecasts, add sandbags as necessary. They also prepare for flood season by having extra food and supplies on hand. Henceforth, absolutely no building permit should be given in floodplain properties. The fact that we're still being surprised by flooding speaks to the insanity of a lack of planning and prevention. That all said, there are areas that are being flooded this year that may never have been flooded before. Freak ice jams can be an issue. More of an issue is the excess and non-licensed drainage of lakes and farmland. It's a normal reaction for a farmer or a cottage owner to want to lower the water level. But we all know that water has to go somewhere. Some neighbor, either near or far, will have to receive the runoff. In the springtime especially, there may well not be the capacity to receive the extra water. Keep your eye on the Shellmouth River this year, on the dam and on the city of Brandon and everything in between. The province of Manitoba has agreed to receive water from Fishing Lake in Saskatchewan into the Assiniboine by way of a new drainage ditch. We could certainly see some very interesting damage along the Assiniboine, and the consequences may be felt all the way to Winnipeg and beyond. It would have indeed been better in years gone by if houses and buildings had not been built in the floodplain, but necessary measures have now mostly been taken. So it's amazing that 190 years after the first documented and reported flood of the century, that the communities are still allowing construction in floodplain or flood-prone areas. Yes, it's 190 years since the early 1820s, when the Red River flooding was reported, and settlers said that the only piece of land that was sticking up out of the water was the hill where Stony Mountain Penitentiary sits today. Those years should have been sufficient warning that while the Red River Valley may be farmable, it should never have been settled and built up with flood-prone buildings. Today, we still have communities flooding and hear about them erecting temporary dikes. What's with this temporary business, when some of them are costing millions of dollars? Certainly permanent dikes would be a better answer. To be flooded once can be termed an accident. To be flooded twice could be called very unfortunate. But to be flooded many times is called lunacy. Municipalities and provinces have been quite content to collect taxes and fees from the property for many, many decades, and yet there are annually flood-prone properties that are still not being protected. Here's the deal. The RMs in the provinces should agree to buy out flood-prone property or protect it. If the homeowners turn down their offer, then they should be on their own when the flood hits. Thank you.